Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on ESPN LA 710 across the USC Trojans Media Network. I am Jordan Moore alongside Sean Cody, Keely Yor, and the head coach. Lincoln Riley joins us. USC's head coach interview is presented by iTrust Capital, the official crypto platform of the USC Trojans. Trojans sitting at 3-0 off a big road win, but it was an eventful night. Lots to talk about in West Lafayette, Indiana. You know, you come from Big 12 country. Maybe you had a weather delay like that before. We haven't had one since 2012. Was that the longest one of your career?
I think it was. I can remember one at East Carolina in earlier years, which was pretty long. Yeah, definitely the longest one in a while. And then when you combine the fact of the time zone travel and all of that, I think it made it maybe the most unique one that I've been involved with. And so, I thought the guys handled it great. They were pretty amped in the locker room the entire time. We actually had to kind of calm them down and get them to sit down and relax a little bit, which was good. I thought their energy level and focus and just kind of willingness and excitement to go out and play like never let off. And it was unique because I know outside probably doesn't know, like, we thought there was going to be a delay. Then they came on to the field during pregame warmups like, no, we're good. It's just going to be rain. So we finished warmups. We're bringing the team up. I'm like at the very end of the kind of pregame speech, and literally about to break them down. They come in. It's like, nah, there's lightning. We're delayed 30 minutes, and then you're just kind of watching it. And every 30 minutes, there's other strikes, and it just kind of keeps adding. You don't quite know when you're going. I think we ended up doing like 5 or 6 different schedules because, like, all right, we're going to kick at this time. All right, we're going to warm up at this time, and then as it got longer, well, then you got to warm them up more because they've just been sitting there for a while. So it was unique, but the staff, the players, everybody was ready, and obviously, the entire program handled it well.
Yeah, Coach, how did you feel about the response? I mean, from a former player, I'm sure you've been in those kind of delays. It's like you have a routine. You want to peak at the right moment. You want to get the energy going. You don't want to get too early, too late. How do you think they came out of that, out of the delay?
I thought there was just a mindset that, like, whenever we play, we're going to be ready. Mm-hmm. I think they weren't that focused on when it was going to be. I mean, there was times like, hey, we're getting ready to go out. Then we said, nope, by another strike, we're not going out. And there wasn't like these highs or lows. They were just like, all right, just tell us when it's time to go and we'll be ready. Yeah. And it was just kind of that mindset the entire way. And so, yeah, I thought just a real no excuses attitude from everyone.
Now that you had time to look at the tape, overall, what do you make of that performance, given all the unique factors?
Yeah, excited about, some of the physicality that we played with, some of the things we did up front, especially in the second half. There were some really, really good things on both sides of the ball. Ryan Siri continues to be a really bright spot for us. He was huge in the game, great on kickoffs. Really hit the ball well on field goals. Had the one unfortunate one that just caught the upright, but really hit the ball great. Defensively, I thought the defensive line played a really impactful game. Thought our linebackers played very well. And obviously we had the big interceptions in the secondary, so you had contributions at all 3 levels. Offensively, it was okay. I was excited that you're excited that you didn't have to punt, you didn't have turnovers. Normally, if you don't punt and you don't have turnovers, you're going to win a lot of games. And so, we did what we needed to do to win, but it certainly wasn't our best performance. So, I think the mentality and the edge that the team had the whole night is still kind of the thing we'll hang on to and then just continue to build and grow from there.
You're listening to the head coach, Lincoln Riley, on Trojans Live. You watched the film with the team yesterday. What was the film room rewatch like of Big Ja's dance to the end zone?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I got to give our video crew a lot of Eric Michael and all of our social guys. They put together a little video for the team meeting. So the first vision when we were riding home Saturday night, I saw the TV copy of Ja returning it. My first thought was, well, he looks like the water boy, right, carrying the ball the way he was. So our guys did some pretty unique video editing. And maybe spliced in a couple shots of the water boy with Ja running down, so that was pretty cool. And our sports science guys did a couple of cool stats on just like the amount of force that was moving when you take a guy that's as big as Ja and how fast he was moving. It was pretty interesting. So, anyways, yeah, we had some fun with it. Pretty cool moment. Big guys, as we were talking about with Sean, big guys don't get an opportunity to get those very often. not to mention, a 70-yarder. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, where the heck were where's the other team at? Were they trying? Or they give up on the back end? I was like, what's going on here? There was no one around, man. That was pretty cool. Great moment for him. Great moment for the defense. Coach, I wanted to talk about the run game a little bit. Obviously, it didn't get off to a great start, but as you guys warmed down, you stuck with it, you kind of grinded it out in the second half, and Wayman got going. What was the take from the run game after the game?
Yeah, just early in the game, especially, we weren't super clean there. We were just kind of one block away the entire night, and at times they were committing a lot of people to the run game. There's no question about that. But regardless of that, it wasn't our best performance there. We weren't as clean as we normally are. There's a lot of guys individually that were really good, but it just kind of seemed like we were consistently just one away, and then. Yeah, obviously ran it better in there in the second half, especially when it was kind of obvious that we were gonna attack them with the run and try to bleed some clock. And so, really proud of how we ran it at the end. I mean, we ran a ton of clock. Had some explosive runs, several that were just a shoestring away from popping all the way. So yeah, it got better as the game went on, but definitely have to start faster in the run game.
How do you evaluate the inside linebacker play through 3 weeks? We saw some flashes from Tamir and from Jaden Walker for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, obviously Eric's our leader there, and he's been just all over the place, just a maniac out there. It's pretty fun to watch him play right now, playing at a high level. I think Dez has been really steady for us. I think he got a little bit of play time obviously last year, but this is his first chance to really get out there and play a big number of snaps, and so he's doing some really good things. And I also think he's going to grow and continue to play faster, more impactful as this thing goes on. We were excited about the way that Jaden came in and played, the way that Tamir came in and played. It was good to see some of that depth show up and be impactful, and excited to see those guys go pull the trigger and make some really, really impactful plays. Tamir had a couple of really good blitzes, obviously, that were impactful. Jaden had some really nice plays, especially on the toss crack there to our boundary. And so, yeah, it's good to see some of those other guys contributing because we're going to need certainly more than just Eric and Dez and some of those guys as time goes on.
You're leading the nation in sacks so far. Unlike your first season when you had a lot of sacks, but so much of it was Thule. This year it's just there's so much depth at that spot. What is that allowing you to do, and what does that sort of make you look at the rest of the season and what you're capable of doing, coming at people in waves with that much athleticism?
Yeah, it's when it was Thule, Thule was unbelievable. You take one of those anytime you can get them, but like at some point, people are going to double team them or triple team them or scheme away from it, and we saw that at times, in our first year. The difference now is we can get there with a lot of different people, and we are probably tougher than we've been at any point since I've been at USC for people that game plan how they're going to protect against us. We've got guys on the interior that can rush. We've got guys on the edge that can rush. We have linebackers that can rush. We have DBs that are very effective blitzers. You saw Ramsey. Yep. Obviously hit the quarterback on Jaw's interception. Kristen Pierce had a sack. And so, I think our ability to affect the passer from different positions is it's much closer to certainly where you want to be in terms of people scheming against us. It's cool to see that we're getting a lot of production from different people.
Some big explosive throws from Jaden. We saw some more action. I thought he was great in the ground game, making those reads, keeping the defense honest. What was your takeaway from Jaden's performance?
Yeah, he played a mature game. Had to have some patience just with the way the game unfolded. It was a low possession game, obviously, and we had some opportunities. He threw the ball down the field, just unbelievable. The throws down the field were ridiculous, yeah. And so we missed a couple of just easy completions, just as an offense. Not just him, not just the wideouts, just everybody as a whole got to be a little bit more crisp in some of our route running and some of our just easier completions, especially in the second half. I thought we were just a little sloppy there in the throw game, and that definitely hurt us from being in some better situations. But he played a mature game. He played a winning type football game. As a quarterback, the team just needs you to be sometimes different things each week, depending on the challenge and how the game unfolds. And so I thought it was just a really mature performance.
Yeah, taking care of the ball, too, is really important. Yep.
Exactly.
Well, the big games are coming one after another now. Nothing bigger than Saturday, the Big Ten home opener, USC versus Michigan State. It is presented by Coke. It's going to be a little Big Ten after dark action. It'll kick at 8 p.m. Pacific time here in Los Angeles. Our Trojan Tailgate show will go on at 6 p.m. We will talk to Coach about that next on Trojans Live. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody Keeley, you're the head coach. Lincoln Riley here for a second segment. We teed it up, Big Ten After Dark, 2 3-0 teams on Saturday night at the Coliseum. Importance of setting the tone at home this year, not just for the team, but the fans and everyone involved on Saturday night.
We all have our role, and I would just say, whatever the fans' expectation level is for us to play, we need the same thing in the stadium, period. We were just talking about it off air. We go to these different venues, like Purdue the other night, it's rocking. We walk in every Big Ten field game that we walk into, it's going to be rocking, and so we have to have the same thing on the other side, and there's nothing like the Coliseum when it's rolling, and we only get a handful of these, and so now we do. We need it rocking Saturday night. We need it throughout the entire season.
Late start on this one, 8 p.m. Obviously later probably for them, but what's your take? How do you handle those late night games for the team?
Yeah, it's not as big a deal, obviously, for us being out here. We'll allow the guys to sleep in a little bit more on Saturday, which will be good considering kind of what this week's going to be like after the delay. It just kind of pushes everything back. So, yeah, that works out fine. For us, it's whatever the time is. We're going to be ready to roll. The guys are going to be excited to play. So. Again, we need to be ready. We need to have a great crowd, go have a great performance.
You made the switch this season to practice on Sundays and have Mondays off for the players. That's nice on a home game, but when you come back at 3 a.m. on an away game, what was that like this week?
It's a quick turnaround. Yeah,
Sure.
we were supposed to land about 10:30. The game started normally, and as you guys know, it was
if only.
Yeah, just a hair later than that, and so yeah, it's part of it though. You gotta turn over quickly, so get a couple quick hours of sleep. And the nice thing is, with technology these days, though, a lot of us, you're so wired after the game, it's kind of hard to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So, a lot of us were able to, do all of our kind of post-game work and even start looking ahead at the opponent on the plane ride home.
Oh.
So you do gain a little bit there, which is cool. You used to obviously not be able to do that, so that definitely helps. But these next couple days, you got maybe one extra energy drink, and here we go, right?
What do you see from Michigan State? Legit dual threat quarterback. He's got 30 carries through 3 games.
Yeah, really athletic kid. Has played in their system now for a little while. They had him recruited to go obviously to Oregon State, and then made the switch with them. And kid obviously that we know. Respect his ability. Jonathan's a great coach. He's always been really effective. His teams have improved. They do a great job offensively. And from what I've seen up to this point this year, we didn't have much crossover with them last year, but what I've seen up to this point this year, it's a very improved team. They've won some cool games. They had a pretty cool, obviously, win early in the season with BC, they're a tough physical team, kind of like you would expect. They're very multiple offensively, and the quarterback is certainly, as you said, him being a dual threat, having some experience, is somebody we're going to have to do a great job with.
Coach, defensively in the secondary, Bishop Fitzgerald has a big game, 2 interceptions for them, but at times maybe look like a lot of space back there for some guys. Brown had some nice throws in the game. And when you have a defensive line who's hunting like that, is the message to try to get to the DBs like, hey, you got to understand your coverage a little bit more when you have a D line that can kind of hunt like that?
Yeah, I think so, and I think we're learning a little bit, how to play together.
Yeah.
And I think both the coaches, players, everyone of kind of like what's going to be. What are going to be our advantages and the matchups each week, and how do you complement, pass rush with coverage? And it's different. It's definitely different when you're practicing, against one another and you're not hitting the quarterback and all of that. And now all of a sudden you get into some of these games, and I think that's just part of evolving throughout the season, And it's as you know, Sean, from playing it, it's every year is a little bit different, and then within the year, every game and matchups are a little bit different. You're trying to kind of find that sweet spot where it's what you want up front, it's what you want coverage-wise, and those two are feeding off one another. So, yeah, I think we can definitely close down some air with those guys. We can definitely be better. But the thing we're doing, at least up to this point, we're doing a pretty good job not giving up the big plays, and then there's certainly, something to be said for that, to make people drive it against our defensive front.
It looks like the injury bug got Michigan State a little bit. How does that affect your prep, if at all?
I don't know that it does a ton. I think these guys they've been able to build some depth. I think they, I think they're pretty set in their ways in terms of what they're going to be. These guys are, experienced coaches that are going to have quality backup plans. So, yeah, I don't know that we pay a whole lot of attention to it.
We were having this conversation actually a couple weeks ago about recruiting guys who play quarterback in high school but go on to play different positions, and that is the case with Bishop Fitzgerald. He was a high school quarterback. He goes to JUCO, then NC State, and he learns how to play safety. You watch that last pick, and it clearly looks to me like a guy who diagnosed the play. I mean, is there something to that? A quarterback has to have so much knowledge of what's going on in the field, of having that mind at a different position.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that could train you in football like having to play quarterback and having to see the field and operate and know, how offenses are trying to attack you. I just don't know that you could duplicate that. And I think that's been a big help. I know we talked previously with Bishop about his transition to a very different scheme here. This is radically different than what he did before. And so I think some of his ability to turn it over quickly and get really cemented here in our scheme is I think you could trace back to that, and then certainly some individual plays like you referenced.
Coach, that you mentioned Eric Gentry, a phenomenal game. You watch me flying around making plays, but the one play, you probably never seen before in college football, a double pass that he maybe should have probably picked off, instead goes for a touchdown. What do you tell poor Eric after that one?
Yeah, it's crazy because we had shown our guys that exact play, and Eric diagnosed it
he was
perfect. When I saw Eric jump to the quarterback, I could tell it was going to be a throwback because it was on our sideline pretty quick, and I saw him go to the quarterback. I'm like, this is a pick six. Yeah. I'm like, this is going the other way, and then the ball's on the ground, and it wasn't it wasn't supposed to be obviously a backwards pass. Yeah. And I still don't know if it was. I actually think if they would have called it incomplete, I don't think they would have changed it. It was really, really close. But, yeah, just kind of a freak play. I mean, our awareness, defensively has got to be, hey, if in doubt in any way, just get on the ball, right? Still rally the ball. Even though it's kind of a crazy freak play, let's go get him tackled, right? Let's don't let him score. So, yeah, a lot to learn, but yeah, that's just one of those things that goes against you sometimes. Yeah.
Christian Pierce, our next guest, has more responsibility on his plate this year. Obviously, what have you seen from him through 3 weeks?
He's stepped up. He has. He's. We talked about it in the off season. His ability to step up from, previously he was a role player for us on defense and was a really major contributor on special teams. I know one of his goals was to become really a mainstay in that secondary, and so he's done a great job really learning the system. I mean, really diving into the finer details where I know our coach's confidence is so high in him to just operate our group. And then I think he's also taken on a real leadership role. I mean, he's definitely one of the alphas in that DB room. And so, yeah, his presence there, both in developing on the field and then just who he is as a leader has been really important for us. And, obviously it's great for us this year and going to be great for us in the future.
All right, time to pack out the Coliseum on Saturday night, an 8 p.m. kick, USC versus Michigan State, presented by Coke. We will go on at 6 p.m. Come hang out with us at the Peristyle. You can bring Sean some tailgate food. It'll be right in your dinner time, buddy, so it'll be perfect for you. Come hang out with us. If you're not in the area, the game is on Fox, but we want to make sure every seat is filled at the Collie. We just talked about Christian Pierce. Now we're going to talk to Christian Pierce. He's next on Trojans Live.